at Washington University and is involved with this new procedure that was just approved by the FDA that is a new weight loss device. Dr. Sullivan, welcome to the Big 550 KTRS here in St. Louis.
Thanks for having me.
I got to tell you, the video freaked me out a little bit.
Sure. I think that it's when people first see it, I think that it's a little it's a little surprising when you first see the therapy and what we do with the therapy. But you have to remember that we have a lot of people in the United States who have obesity, and we're not doing a very good job at treating it. So we need to kind of wrap our heads around using therapies that may be a little out of the ordinary, but have both success and low risk and low cost, which is what this therapy is.
Okay, so for those to explain it on the radio, basically it's you drain your stomach after you eat, which I understand people are obese. I understand people have issues. Everybody could lose a couple extra pounds. I'm a yo-yo. I go up and down, but does it not lead someone to say, great, I can eat anything I want and I can just open up the spigot at the bottom of my stomach and just have it pass right through me?
Nope. So, in fact, if you eat a large meal, you can't aspirate it. So there's a couple of things that happens with this therapy. One is that in order for food particles to fit into the tube, they have to be tiny, have to be less than 5 millimeters or less than a quarter of an inch. And so in order for that to happen, people have to chew the food in their mouth until it essentially disintegrates. That takes a long time. So people's mealtime behaviors drastically change, and they change in a very, very healthy way. There are things that we tell people to do anyway for weight loss. We tell people to chew their food very well, to be mindful what they're eating, to drink a lot of water with meals. And all of these things we know help to reduce the total amount of food that people eat during a meal. But a lot of people, it's challenging to do, and a lot of people don't do it. It's very difficult to change behaviors. These patients, though, have to do all of those things in order to get good aspiration. So, in fact, these patients eat significantly less than they ate before they started this therapy. So the big misconception is that you would be able to just aspirate anything out. And the truth of the matter is that, think about if you put a bunch of food or, cut up food into a glass and tried to stick a straw in it and suck it out. You wouldn't be able to do it. In order to get flow, you have to have very small particles, and you have to have enough water in there for that to actually flow out. So there's nothing bad that would happen if you ate a large meal other than the fact that you wouldn't be able to aspirate it, but you definitely can't aspirate large meals.
All right, doctor, this was approved by the FDA just the other day. Why is this better than, say, the balloon that people put in their stomach to, I guess, take up space, or the gastric bypass, or the band, or some of the other things that are out there?
So I think first, what I'd like to say is I think that we need to get away from saying, is this better, is this worse? I think what we need to say is, how does this fit into a multidisciplinary weight management program where we're trying to treat a lot of patients? Because there are positives and negatives for all of the therapies that we have. I would say that in comparison to the balloons, some of the positives or some of the things that are different with aspiration therapy are that on average weight loss is higher, and on average you can keep the tube in for a long period of time. So the balloons that are approved for use in the United States right now are liquid-filled balloons. I currently use them in my practice. I think that they definitely have a place in treating obesity, but they do have to be removed after 6 months, the current balloons that are approved, because they will start to break down. The aspiration tube is a tube that only has to be replaced once it does start to show signs of breakdown, which takes about 2 or 3 years. Remember, we place feeding tubes that are very similar to this, and we've been doing that since the late 1970s, early 1980s for people who otherwise can't eat. So we have many, many, many years of experience with placing, again, feeding tubes and using them for many years. And this tube is just a slight modification on that.
But again, I'm my own word. I'm just as guilty as everybody else, yo-yoing. When it's all said and done, though, isn't it eating right and exercising, and you wouldn't need any of these other things?
So, although if you were, so the reality is that less than 5% of people are able to both lose and maintain weight loss with lifestyle therapy alone, intensive lifestyle therapy alone, probably on the order of 2 to 3%. So it's a really low percentage of patients that are able to do it on their own. It would be great if everybody could do that, but unfortunately, there are a lot of things that are in our society, our food supply, the way our communities are set up, that really work against us in order to be able to maintain weight loss and to lose weight in the first place. So these additional tools are really necessary in order for us to be able to help patients to lose weight. And I think that, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, we have not made a big dent in the rates of obesity in the United States. We've kind of leveled off since the early 2000s, but we certainly haven't started bringing it down.
That is Dr. Shelby Sullivan, Washington University School of Medicine, who was involved in this brand new procedure that will drain your stomach, just approved by the FDA. Dr. Shelby Sullivan, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
7:26. We'll go inside